Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jasmine with the Skincare Lab. That's my teaching platform, and I also do have a physical platform that I sell products with called Exfoliate. I work in skincare, but I'm kind of here to touch on something that can apply to all businesses that's really been a hot topic. I want to get into how do you pick a mentor? How do you pick somebody to follow and somebody that you take notes and that you try to learn from? There's a lot of them that have been popping up overnight, and it's kind of this interesting phenomenon we see since we've had an influx in people trying to be entrepreneurs. Then you have people that are trying to teach, and a lot of them can talk the good talk. They can seem like they walk it. You can post pictures. But the problem is that there's a lot of things that you can pretend to be on social media. There's a lot of ways that, in a way, you can sort of fake it. So I'm going to talk about 3 points where you can decide whether somebody is going to be the right mentor for you and if they have enough experience to be a mentor for you or not. The very first thing you are going to check for is their history. What kind of history does somebody have? I personally have seen people that have taken even my classes within the past few months now trying to teach something. And this happens a lot. People will take a course, and I've seen, it was especially popular too with this Groupon herbalism class that went viral a few years ago. People were teaching it, and it gave you some sort of certificate. It was like a 15-minute class, but it gave you some sort of certificate for being a master herbalist. And we all know that's something that takes years of studying to master and experience. You can't possibly gain something from one course. People should be able to give you a body of work to look at, to where you are going to be able to see how long they've been doing it, what type of advice they've been giving, and basically be able to show you over the course of time that they are able to master whatever it is that they're doing. Now, this is for formulating. This is for any sort of given skill, but specifically more so I'm going to talk about business here, because a lot of people are coming off as business gurus. Even if they just make it to their first 6 figures, that's great. Congratulations on that. But to teach how to make 6 figures in a business, you have to have a track record of doing it multiple times over. And this is really important as to why that is. Whenever you make your first 6 figures, you can get there for a number of reasons. And this isn't to take away from anybody that's had their success, but you have people that get there due to luck, timing. Sometimes it is strategic, and then other times it can be like off of social media clout. And you really want to also be able to look at and gauge how somebody got to where they are, their history, what transpired between that time. They should be able to show you, like I said, bring the receipts, right? They should be able to show you pivotal points in their business to where they could tell you exactly which decision did what and how they were able to repeat that, or even tell you the mistakes they've made, why they were able to repeat that, why they were not able to repeat that, any sort of lessons learned. And these are things that it takes time to do. When it comes to making money in business, there's a lot of nuances to it. There's systems that work. You also have to know how it is that you want to come up. So this person should also be experienced enough to help you identify what your brand and your personality is. Not just say, oh, look at how much money I made. I mean, they should be able to show you the money, right? The numbers don't lie. But at the same time, the numbers can be deceiving in the sense that, well, let's look about how those numbers are made, right? For example, somebody could show you numbers, and it could be year to date versus, in the past month, right? So if somebody's been in business 10 years and they show you year to date, they've made $1 million. That's not going to be as good per se as somebody who had made 6 figures in a month. There's a little bit different. And also, even with that, you have to look into the why, the how, the timing. If maybe the first 10 years they were dead, and then finally on the 10th year they hit their million, that's still really good. So you really have to delve in and ask these questions. And your mentor should really be willing to go through that history with you and pull up the receipts, and actually be willing to do an interview with you and see if they can best suit your needs before even taking any of your money. Language is also important here. Now, I get everybody's personality is different. How they're going to react and respond to this is going to be different. But this is kind of my personal take on things, and what I would look for in a mentor, because believe it or not, even though I mentor people, there are also people that know more than me that are trying to get to my next level. It took me a long time to be willing to teach even the little bit that I know, because it comes with a heavy responsibility. And so this is why I get into when you're proclaiming to be a guru, when you are when you are claiming to be a master of anything, any sort of sensei. Those names bear a lot of weight. Even though I was making and selling things for a long time, I didn't want to take on people and start teaching them until not even like 2 years into becoming successful with my first 6-figure business. So and this was from making products in the beginning, and then I kind of just started, I'm willing to always tell what I know. But that's the big thing. Say if you want to learn from somebody that is on the up and coming, right? They may have something valuable. Okay, so if you're willing to compromise on the experience, which I highly recommend you do not do, if you're willing to do that, then you need to listen to how they talked about themselves, okay? So you're willing to learn from somebody that's a little bit newer. They should not be calling themselves a guru. They should not be calling themselves a master, sensei, or anything like that. And that's one thing that even when there were certain things that I was getting into, that I was trying to learn because people were asking me to do it, I said, hey, I'm always willing to teach what I know, but I do not have formal training. I am not a master at this. I am teaching what I know. And pay attention to that, because that should also set your expectations. That might not be the best person to teach you, is if they are not a master at what they are doing. If you're going to compromise on the mastery area, you need to pay attention to the language, because that's the difference, the key difference. And this is a character thing that you're going to be looking for when you're taking on a mentor, right? Is whether they're going to deceive you or not. You don't want somebody that's going to be deceptive. If somebody is relatively new to whatever it is that they're trying to teach you, and you still wish to learn from them, they need to be able to let you know up front. And then also, if something doesn't work out and you find out later there was another way, you do have to take accountability for that, because then that person was honest with you and they let you know that, hey, I'm not a master. Here's the experience that I have. I showed you what it is that I've done, what I'm able to do for myself, and I can try to help you. And usually within those types of mentorships, those really should be free. But if you're going to pay for somebody's time as well, I do understand that. You just want to make sure that whoever is going to be teaching you is going to be 1000% transparent and not deceptive in any way, shape, or form. So this is why really pay attention to the language. It is intentional and it matters. Last but not least, the promises, okay? So when it comes to mentors and people that you're willing to learn from, they are going to tell you that the goal is for them to help you achieve something, right? So there needs to be honesty also about what they're going to teach you. 100% across the board. This does not matter. This is really important here. Nobody can guarantee you absolute results with anything, with formulating, baking cookies, telling you with what to do with your business. There are so many factors that are within those layers, within those promises, that nobody should be promising you anything. Okay, let's use the cookie example. That's a perfect one, right? So there are a million cookie recipes out there. I've tried them myself. Followed every letter of every direction. I've watched videos. I'm just not great at baking cookies. My daughter, on the other hand, is great. Me, no. And it doesn't matter if I follow the exact steps, use the exact ingredients, do everything the same. There's so many different factors that go into it. And so you have to take that into account when you're taking on a mentor. If they're sitting in your face and they're lying in your face, I'm gonna tell you that right now. If they're going to guarantee you an expected result, there's always some sort of a learning curve. So the language is important here again. They should be able to help you improve if you follow the steps that they're taking. And also there are other factors, and let's get into some of those other factors, right? For example, if I take on somebody to help them build their skincare, right? Now I can work within certain limits, even with my experience, that, like, say for example, somebody wants to learn how to sell soaps, okay? And then I teach them everything I know, give them all the keys, and then come to find out those are like $300 melt and pour soaps. I could have given you perfectly solid, sound advice, right? But if they don't sell, again, like, there are certain things, obviously I would advise you not to do that in the business to begin with, but there are just certain factors that play into everything, which are going to determine the outcome. So your mentors should not be promising you anything. What they should promise you, if anything, is that there is going to be work. There's always going to be a learning curve. There are different factors that here's what you can expect when you mess up, because you will. Here's how you can handle that. And they should be a guide to you and be able to help you navigate through. Basically they're helping you problem solve, because there's a problem, and whether it's you're not getting sales, or whether you want to rebrand, or whatever it is, that you are taking on a mentor to try to learn. So you're going to have somebody that's going to help you problem solve with their business, but nobody's going to come in and just give you the end all be all cure all. You're going to be rich. You're guaranteed this in 30 days. And here's another thing too. You might see that sometimes. You might see, I've seen some of them like 100K in 90 days, 100K, $100 per day. I've done that. But here's where it lies. It's like, when you're listening to that, ask questions. Please ask your mentors questions. They should be able to clarify for you. You can ask them, are you guaranteeing results? Is this something that I for sure will have certain amount of results in? If they tell you yes, red flag. If they tell you results may vary, that's somebody that's willing to be a little bit on. That's not a little bit, but that's somebody that's being honest with you. It's very important to have these levels of discernment. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a harsh truth that we as entrepreneurs know. There is a lot of money to be made off of entrepreneurs. It's a very vulnerable space to be in. There's a lot of people that are looking for help, and we know that not a lot of entrepreneurs end up making it. There's a number of reasons why, a plethora of reasons why, but from my experience, it usually will boil down to attitude, and your ability to problem solve and be open and learning. You really do have to be, in my opinion, a lot of people are, upset about this word, but it does humble you a little bit, because you just have to be a student that is learning at all times, and you have to be open-minded. You have to be able to take criticism, to hear that you're wrong, to be the bigger person in order to effectively run a business that is going to be sustainable. So with that being said, there's a lot of people out there that are preying on business owners, and it's not okay. It's okay to want to learn from your peers and learn from people who maybe don't have degrees, who maybe haven't had any formal training, et cetera, et cetera. But you just need to make sure that the person's being honest with you. If not, you are going to be scammed, and I wouldn't want anybody to fall for that. So just know that whenever you're choosing a mentor, you need to gauge whether they understand that the amount of responsibility that they have, and that they take it seriously. Okay, please, please, please. I do mentor. I don't have any openings right now. I have quite a few clients that I'm trying to work with. I'm trying to really get them wrapped up. But I do offer those that I'll be opening up once I'm finished with them. But here's my thing that I will give a disclaimer as a mentor, as somebody that really likes to see people through success. I'm going to be honest with you, and I will let you know what you're getting into as an entrepreneur. That it's rough, it's not easy, there's work to be done. You're not guaranteed success. All I can do is just tell you what I've known and what I've had work for me several times over and over again. I'm happy to answer any questions if you guys have them. I'm always here. I call myself a small business advocate because I believe that we have the power to make our own incomes, right? Very grateful for the 9-to-5ers as well. Don't ever get that twisted. I love y'all. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. And let me know if you guys want me to do any more topics. I'm willing to give my take on things. And everybody have a wonderful week. Bye.